Alright, we're going to take a look at loops in Java. So we're looking at the online textbook, which is handy dandy, and we'll be looking at a couple of examples at both for loops and while loops. So I'm going to click on loops in Java to look at some simple examples, and I'm going to actually look at the for loops first. We've already looked at an example of a simple for loop in class, and we'll just review that in this video. So here we go. This is the code that belongs to the for loop. So you always start out our for with for, and then in parentheses you have three different things. You have initialization of some integer value. So you see that here. You're defining some integer, naming it x, and setting its initial value to 3. The second part is our conditional that gets checked. And only if this conditional is true does this code actually run. Then after, if the code is actually run, it will go and do this bit of code which decreases the value of x by 1. This is shorthand for take away 1 from x. Okay, so let's take a look at what happens. Alright, so we initialize x to 3. We check is 3 greater than 0? Yes, it is. So we're going to go ahead and run this code, which says to print to screen on a new line the value of x at this point, which is 3. So it prints out 3. Then we take away 1 from the current value of x, so now it's 2. Is 2 greater than 0? Why, yes, it is. So let's print out the value of x, and it's 2. Take away 1, so x becomes 1. Well, is 1 greater than 0? Yeah, it is. So we print out the value of 1, and then we go back up here and we take away 1. Now it's 0, and now we have a conditional that is not true. So 0 is not greater than 0, so we exit out of the for loop, and we do not run this bit of code. So the output should be 3, 2, 1, each on a new line. So 3, 2, and 1. So let's go ahead and check that. 3, 2, 1, we are correct. Okay, so it did what we thought it was going to do. Very good sign. So now let's take a look at how a while loop works. A while loop is a little bit different. You can make it do the same thing, but it turns out while loops and for loops are useful for different things. But let's look at this very simple while loop. So right away you'll notice, and here's the code for the while loop, the rest of it is just defining the class and the main method. Right away you notice that the syntax is a little bit different. So while the for loop took 3 different things, the initial value of your integer, the conditional, and the decreasing the changing of the value of that variable, the while only has the conditional. So it's saying while this is true, run this code. And you'll see that outside of the loop, you're actually initializing the value of whatever variable you're checking in your conditional. Okay, so int x equals 3. It's the same bit of code, but the syntax is a little bit different. Okay. The other thing is that you'll notice that you're changing the value of x, not within this line, like in the for, combined with all the other stuff, but it's within the while loop itself. So you're initializing the value outside of the while loop, you're defining the conditional on the first line of the while, and then within the loop you're actually changing the value of x. But it works much in the same way. So check it out. So x is set to 3. Is 3 greater than 0? Yeah, it is. So we're going to enter the loop. We're going to print out the value, which at this point is 3. 3, subtract 1. We're redefining x as whatever its value is now. 3 minus 1 is 2, so x gets redefined as 2. Jump back up to the while. Is 2 greater than 0? Yeah, it is. We're going to run the code, print out 2. We're going to redefine x now. What is its current value? It's 2. minus 1 is 1, so x becomes 1. Is 1 greater than 0? Yes, it is. Run the code, print out 1. And then we redefine x as 1 minus 1, which is 0. And 0 is not greater than 0, so this while is no longer true, so it is false, and we exit out. So the output should be the same as our for loop, 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and check it. Whoa, it works. So why do we have two different types of loops that do the same thing? Well, it turns out that there will be cases as our programs become a bit more complex that a while might be a better selection, and there will be other times where a for might be a better selection. But right now, just looking at these simple things, they both work out pretty well.